Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where the manipulator tries to make the victim doubt their own thoughts, memories, and perceptions. It involves denying the victim's reality, minimizing their experiences, or invalidating their feelings. A partner could gaslight their partner by denying or downplaying their worries all the time, which could make them question their own sanity or view of reality. Guilt tripping. This is when someone is manipulated and made to feel bad for not meeting their needs or wants. It often involves manipulating the victim's emotions to make them feel guilty, obligated, or ashamed. To get their child to do what they want, a parent might use guilt tripping by saying, "I gave up so much for you, and this is how you repay me." Shaming. To sham someone into acting in a certain way, you have to make them feel bad or embarrassed. It hurts the victim's sense of self-worth and can make them give in out of fear of being shamed even more. If an employee makes a mistake, their boss might shame them in front of their co-workers to get them to work harder so they don't have to deal with that again. Silent treatment. This is a form of manipulation in which someone is ignored or won't talk to someone in order to control their behavior. It can make the victim feel alone, scared, or like they need attention badly. The silent treatment is something a partner might do to punish their partner for not agreeing with them or doing what they want. Love bombing. Love bombing means showering someone with too much love, attention, or gifts in order to get them to obey or depend on you. It gives the victim a false sense of closeness and can make them feel like they have to reciprocate. A friend or acquaintance might give someone lots of compliments, gifts, and attention all the time to get them to trust them and do what they want. Isolation. Isolation means cutting someone off from their support system, like family and friends, to make them more dependent on the manipulator. It makes it harder for the victim to get other ideas and help. By telling their partner they shouldn't hang out with friends or family, an abusive partner might push their partner to rely on them alone for support and company. Playing the victim. Playing the victim means making yourself look like you're the victim of events or other people's actions to get sympathy, avoid responsibility, or control other people's feelings. In order to avoid criticism or repercussions, a coworker might claim that their errors were the result of uncontrollable circumstances or actions by other coworkers. Triangulation. In this strategy, you make two people fight with each other and then present yourself as the mediator or hero. To get control of the situation, it plays with people's feelings and loyalties. A dishonest friend could spread rumors about two other friends to get them to fight with each other, and then they would try to make peace between them to get their way and control both groups. Fearmongering. To manipulate someone by making them afraid or anxious about what might happen is fearmongering. It takes advantage of the victim's weaknesses and feelings to get them to do what it wants. A salesperson might use fear-mongering to get someone to buy a product by making the risks of not having it seem worse than they really are. This is done by playing on the customer's worries or insecurities. Withholding information. Withholding information means keeping information from someone on purpose so that you can control what they do or decide. It takes away the victim's freedom and stops them from making smart decisions. A manager might not tell their team members important details about a project in order to stay in charge and change how involved or productive they are. Selective truth. Choose your own truth means telling someone only part of the truth or changing facts to change how they see reality. It changes the story so that the manipulator's goals are met. A politician could use selective truth by emphasizing the good things about their policies and ignoring or downplaying the bad things that happen or their criticisms. Flattery and charm. To flatter or charm someone, you use compliments, charisma, or ingratiation to change how they feel or what they do. It makes the victim feel like they owe someone something. Someone at work might flatter their boss with compliments and praise in order to get special treatment and favors, which could affect their decisions or chances for advancement. Manipulative questions. To use manipulative questions, you need to ask leading questions or frame an issue in a way that forces a certain response. It moves the conversation in the direction the manipulator wants it to go. When asked about their behavior, a manipulative partner might say, "Don't you trust me?" as a way to avoid responsibility and make the other person feel bad enough to drop the subject. Overwhelm. Overwhelming someone means giving them too many requests, demands, or pieces of information in order to confuse and control them. It makes the victim feel rushed or desperate, which makes them more likely to give in. A salesperson might give a potential customer too much information about products, deals, and special offers to get them to make a decision quickly without fully thinking about their choices. Power plays involve using your position of power, status, or resources to get other people to do what you want. It takes advantage of the fact that the manipulator has more power than the victim. A manager could use their power to scare workers into working extra hours without getting paid for it, taking advantage of their fear of losing their job or facing consequences. Emotional blackmail. Threatening to take away love, support, or affection if the person doesn't do what the manipulator wants. It takes advantage of the victim's feelings to bond with the manipulator. As a form of emotional blackmail, a parent might say they will disown their child if they don't go in a certain career direction or marry a certain person. Pity ploy. This is when someone tries to get someone to feel sorry for them in order to get them to do what they want. It uses the victim's sympathy or guilt to get them to do what it wants. An employee might lie to their boss about how hard things are or how personal their problems are in order to get special treatment or more time off, taking advantage of their compassion for personal gain. Minimization and denial are ways to avoid taking responsibility for your actions by downplaying or denying the effects of your actions. It brushes off the victim's worries and downplays what they've been through, saying, "It's not that bad," or denying it could be a way for an abuser to downplay how bad their behavior is, making the victim feel like their pain is not real. Scapegoating. This is when you blame someone else for your problems or mistakes to avoid taking responsibility. To avoid consequences or responsibility, it puts the blame on people who aren't responsible. A manager might blame a subordinate for a failed project so they don't have to take responsibility, which could hurt the subordinate's reputation or career. Projecting. In this technique, the manipulator blames others for having or acting in ways that are bad. It takes the focus off of the flaws of the manipulator and puts it on the victim. A cheating partner might say their partner is cheating on them or is not trustworthy, projecting their own cheating onto them to make their behavior or suspicion seem more reasonable.